I have been absent from YouTube for a while. It's been kind of crazy. I am working on my second master's degree for library science, so I got really busy with school, and then I got a promotion at work, and it has been crazy. But anyway, the video I'm bringing to you today is my Tistheseasonathon Wrap Up. So I participated in two readathons this month. The first, which is what this video is about, is the Tistheseasonathon hosted by Bookables, and I'll leave her link down below. And it has 5 challenges. It ran from December 3rd to December 9th. Readathon is the 12 Days of Cozmas, which is hosted by Cortagonist, I think Angie, and Robin, and I'll leave their channels down below. And I will do a wrap-up video for that later because at the time of filming, it's still going on. So, as I mentioned, there are 5 challenges to the Tistheseasonathon Readathon. So, the first one is to read a book with red or green on the cover. And for that, I chose Rest You Merry Gentlemen by Vicki Delaney. And this book was a lot of fun. It follows this character, Mary Wilkinson, and she owns a Christmas-themed store in Rudolph, New York, which is also nicknamed Christmastown. And every year there's a Santa Claus parade, and this particular year, Mary's float is chosen to be first. But the tractor that is supposed to pull the float is sabotaged, and then a couple other things happen. A journalist came to town to write about Rudolph, New York, and he ends up murdered. And one of Mary's best friends is the main suspect in the investigation, so it really hits close to home for her. So she decides to get to the bottom of the case, as they always do in cozy mysteries, and it was a lot of fun. I went into this not expecting it to be, like a great work of fiction. I mean, cozy mysteries are fun, they're super cheesy, they have a lot of puns, and this is exactly what this was. So it was a really fun, Christmassy read. The story, the plot line could have done with a little bit more, but I will say that I didn't really figure out who the murderer was until right before it was revealed in the story. So even though the plot could have been a little better written, Vicki Delaney did do a really good job of not revealing the murderer too soon. So that was book number 1. The second challenge was read a book while listening to holiday music. And while I did read this book, I didn't listen to holiday music the whole time because I kept switching between the audiobook at work and on my commute, and then I read the physical book on breaks and at home. So I'm still counting it because I did listen to holiday music for most of it. And that book is A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This is the second book in the Ember and the Ashes not trilogy. There's going to be 4. It hasn't been released yet. But this is the second book in the series. And it follows 2 characters, Elias and Laya, and they are currently running for their lives. There was a huge event that happened in the first book, and now they are 2 fugitives on the run, and they are trying to rescue Laya's brother from a really horrible prison where they're known to torture people. It's based off of kind of like the Roman Empire. It can be really cruel, but it's a really good book. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil the first book. Hi, Lacey. Sorry, my cat. But, hi. Yeah. She has a lot to say too. But anyway, it's a really good book. Like I said, I don't want to say too much, don't want to spoil the first one, but Sabaa Tahir has definitely become one of my all-time favorite YA authors. Her writing is excellent, and her stories just pull you in, and her character development is stunning, and I just love the plot lines in all her stories. I finished this and I immediately wanted to jump into the third book, A Reaper in the Gates, which I probably will soon, but I highly recommend you check this out. Read An Ember in the Ashes first. It's so good. So good. But read this one too. So I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. Loved it. Loved it. So the next book, I don't have a physical copy. I listened to the audiobook through Scribed, and I mainly listened to it while I was at work, but I'll post a picture somewhere up here. But it was Dashing Through the Snow by Debbie McComber, and it follows Ashley Davidson, who's a graduate student, and Dashiell Sutherland, who is a former Army intelligence officer. So Ashley and Dashiell, or Dash, are both trying to get to Seattle over the holidays. Ashley so she can surprise her mom, and Dash because he has a super important job interview, and he has to be there by December 23rd. And they're trying to book a flight, and through different events they're unable to do so. So they both decide that they need to rent a car. Ashley isn't 25, so she can't. So Ashley and Dash, who had never met until that day, make an agreement to rent the car together and drive to Seattle together. And in traditional Debbie McComber fashion, romance flares. There is a little bit of an extra plot line in the story, because there's a case with the FBI going on, which caught me off guard a lot at first, but once you kind of got into the book, it makes a little more sense. But honestly, I could have done without it, but it did add to the ending of the story. But anyway, it was really cute. I wasn't expecting a whole lot from it. I just wanted something Christmassy and wintry and light and fluffy, and that is what I got. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars just because I did find it a little predictable. But overall, the story was really sweet. The characters, while they were forgettable, I enjoyed them while I was reading it. So if you're looking for something light and fluffy, I would definitely check that out. Next challenge is to read a short book, 250 pages or less, and I chose the novella A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Again, I don't have my copy right now. I listened to it on audio, so again, I'll post a picture up here somewhere. I read this novella every year. I love it. It never gets old. It's about Ebenezer Scrooge, who is a miser. He's really cranky, just a miserable old man. And one day, the ghost of his former business partner, Jacob Marley, comes to visit him and warns him that he will be visited by 3 ghosts of Christmases past, present, and future. And basically, these ghosts show him the past, the present, and the future in order to show him that if he doesn't change his ways, then it's gonna end horribly for him, basically. But I really like it. It's Charles Dickens. He's one of my favorite authors. This is a classic for a reason. It's a really fast read. It's a little over 100 pages. And honestly, I think it's really entertaining. It's got some humor within it. Highly, highly recommend it. And I also watched my favorite Christmas Carol adaptation, which is Scrooge with Albert Finney. So definitely go check that out too. And finally, the last challenge is to read a holiday themed book. And since you can double up on challenges, I counted Rusty Murdered Gentleman as the book for that challenge. So overall, I read 4 books for this challenge, which I'm pretty proud of considering how much I had going on. But anyway, that is the end of my wrap up. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to click the subscribe button below and click the bell icon so that you can get notified when I release new videos. And I will see you next time. Bye.